Oh, I can move.
Okay, yeah, you can move. I'm just gonna kind of scan to show that I have people here. Okay. Alright, well, thank y'all for joining me today and giving up your time to help me with my assignment. What we're gonna be going over today is open educational resources. And I'm going to take you through 4 different websites where you can kind of explore and look at different lessons that you can add to your Google Classroom or actually add to Nearpod. And then we'll kind of go over, when you're using these lessons, they are free to use, but you do have to kind of give attribution to the creator, and we'll go over the expectations with that. And so I want you to just think for a minute. I know it's a big, long phrase, open educational resources, or open education resources. What exactly do y'all think that is? And if you just kind of think for a minute, with our iPad training that we've been through with Susan, she's kind of shared some of those examples with us, especially the apps and different technology. Just kind of think for a minute what it might be. Okay, and some examples would be like vocabulary, which I know Nora has shared with the upper grades, and also Nearpod and Google Classroom. So they're just ways of helping students explore. And for teachers, they're learning tools using multimedia programs. They're like online manipulatives, different games, learning games, some simulations, learning apps, and assessment tools. And with these, they provide kind of flexibility and differentiation in learning. Nowadays, I guess the federal government and the state governments and then the district has also kind of realized that students don't learn in different ways, and we as teachers know that they all need different ways of learning and have different learning styles and modalities. And so open educational resources kind of allows you to reach the students and pull them in and kind of help them take ownership of their learning. And so it allows for that. If you have kids that are really high and kids that are really kind of struggling, it allows for that. It calls for rigor, so you can challenge kids, and it's kind of the new future of education. And it's especially, these open educational resources are used in homeschooling. Like a lot of parents will go online and find lessons, and that's ways to teach their children kind of, it uses a lot of the Common Core curriculum. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the next screen. And for students, it allows the students to have active involvement and collaboration and participation. It's interactive, it's engaging for the students. It allows for critical thinking skills and developing problem-solving skills. And what we're trying to do is get kids to become 21st century learners and thinkers. And so that means giving them a problem, having them work through it, kind of applying that conceptual learning, and also using communication skills. I guess a lot of corporations have found that kids graduating or adults graduating from college don't have a lot of these skills, especially with communication, and they don't know how to think out a situation. They're just focused on getting the answer. And so by teaching students how to think like 21st century learners, it gets them ready for the future and careers. And again, like I said, it allows students to take ownership of their learning, so they feel responsible. With the resources that I'm going to show you, you can actually make it self-paced for the student, or you can do it whole group or in small groups. So there's a lot of benefits for the students to gain from using open educational resources. And the purpose of open educational resources, or OER, is to utilize and share tools with each other and with teachers. It helps students dig deeper into their learning. The students and teachers start thinking globally. I know I, as a teacher, had to kind of change my mindset as I'm learning all this technology and kind of think about how this will benefit the student, not necessarily that it's challenging for me, but that how it will benefit the student and help me grow as a teacher. And it also helps the students develop that growth mindset, especially the power of yet, because it is a challenge and you do want to challenge them, and they're not going to get there. And so you want to tell them, well, you have to keep practicing. We're going to work at this. We're going to build on it. And it will get them thinking that I don't have it now, but I will get it yet. And it kind of takes away from using the paper and pencil tasks and assessments. They actually have assessment tools online like Plickers that you can use with students to check and make sure that they're grasping what they're learning, and with their conceptual learning that they're applying the skills that they need to. They are all free, and they are all online, all of the lessons. And so now that I've kind of briefly gone over what are open educational resources, if you want to just kind of talk for a few minutes about how you think these students, how these resources can help the students learn and grow. With the, if you want to type in a response. It's just to kind of use flexibility in the learning. Thank y'all. Good job. I like the responses. And give your brains a kiss. So yeah, it's just allowing for differentiation and flexibility, helping engage the students, get them more involved in their learning, and kind of making it more hands-on and meaningful for the students. Now that I've kind of explained a little bit about it, the best way that I found when I was learning about it is just to go and explore the different websites. I actually had to be honest, I had to Google it because I didn't know what open educational resources were. And so I came up with a couple of websites, and through my exploration and looking at them, I found about 4 that were really good, that had some meaningful lessons that you could use in the classroom. And so this first one, and right away when you type it in, this is like the first website, so it gets a lot of hits, and it was a really good website. It's called OER Commons, and it provides lessons in a variety of subject areas and contents. You can search on the dashboard for like a topic. It can be addition, or if you want just a general math lesson, you can search by the grade level and by the standard. Now, when I was looking at all these different websites, Texas wasn't on any of them, so you won't find any TEKS or TEKS. It's all Common Core. I think New Jersey and California and New Hampshire had their standards up there, but that was about it. So personally, I wouldn't search by the standards, but if you want to look at Common Core standards, they're kind of similar to the TEKS and the TEKS. The lessons are actually created by digital librarians, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'd never heard of a digital librarian. And if you're feeling brave and you come up with a great idea, you can actually build your own lesson and upload it on there, and they'll take you through how to create your lesson and how to upload it onto the internet. Or you can create a whole learning module, which is just like a unit on, say, addition, and you create the different lessons to go in there. Kind of like modules are like what we would use in Destination Math or River Deep, where it has the lesson and then a practice and then another lesson and a practice. So if you felt brave and wanted to do that, you could do that. And also you can search by STEM literacy lessons. And so that was kind of neat. I know the new push now is to incorporate the science and the math and technology. And so there were a couple of lessons in there. So what I'm going to do now is actually take you to the website. So on the next screen, the home page will pop up. It should pop up. Okay, there we go. And then if you kind of go down, you can kind of see there's a lesson builder and then a module builder. And the module builder, I guess, is for college level courses. But when I searched, I just went into the little magnifying glass and I just picked a topic. I think I did addition. So if you wanted to look at addition, you just click in there and type what you're looking for. They had writing on there and spelling, and then I went to the subject. Yeah. And you can pick the subject and the education level. I liked that it was chunked into lower primary and upper primary. Because a lot of websites, when you're searching, it'll be like kinder through 5th grade, but it's really not. It's more upper grade type stuff. And then if you just click search, it'll actually take you and show to different lessons. And if you scroll down, you can I was surprised I actually found some of the lessons that the district has pulled up. Like there's a ladybug one, and it was incorporated into our minutes.
So Christy, where would you put like the grade level on, like on this part right here? Oh, I see that.
And then you can do it that way.
Yeah, lower. And then you just tap on that one. Oh, okay.
Find one.
Okay. Yeah. And then if you want to open one, you just click.
Let's see what I did. Oh, okay.
And if you find a lesson that you like and click on it, it'll open it up for you. You'll see at the top the little Google screen, the Google Classroom screen. And you can just
Drop it into your
drop it
classroom.
into your Google Classroom.
That is nice.
And this one you didn't actually, I don't think you have to actually join, but some of the websites you need to join.
Finding the correct addition sentence. I was just curious.
And then right there's
So if I just type that
Uh-huh.
here.
it'll give you some choices.
Christy, do you think that some of these are in the digital resources that the district has?
I think there's one like the Ladybug edition. I don't know if it was in the digital resources, but I know in our curriculum unit, it was actually in there, some of the ones that they said, back when they would hand us
Yes.
guides.
But it's still, makes me curious.
Because I'm getting closer. Yeah, I get that. Education doesn't apply because I still get math.
You want it more.
How do you know if it went to your classroom? You just assume that it did. I pushed it twice.
I'm sure it's probably in there.
It's probably there like 10 times now.
This one you have to actually join first.
Oh, okay. So let me find a different one.
If you just tap it, it should be done. So type right here on the letters, on the blue letters, and then show it. You should be able to view the lesson. Oh, goodness.
I think you got it.
Yeah, some of them were.
Check out the arrow.
It's weird, unless it's that particular lesson.
I noticed that, but in Google, like some of, when you're Googling things now, things will come up in a different language. I don't know why.
So how would I go back to my search? Should try clicking a different one, see if it was maybe just that one, because I pulled one up and it wasn't, nothing much popped up.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not good with the fingers, I just.
So now I can go back to search and I can look for something.
Yeah.
I searched under graduate school.
My item.
Seriously, I'm just curious if there was something. Like from wise crediting the past challenge and the present doing.
Oh.
That's what you're supposed to know.
And like Nora was saying, if you don't have a Google Classroom, if you go to My Items, it'll allow you to email it to yourself. So y'all ready to try the next one? Okay.
Sure.
So, did you get? Oh, did it go back? Yay! Okay, so the next one, I liked this one even better than the other one. It's called Open Ed, and it features an actual resource library with, and this one was neat because it has, instead of just a lesson, it has videos and assessment tools and homework that you can assign to the kids. And so when you're searching, you can pick what you want. Do you want a song, maybe on like the CH sound or the TH sound, or do you want a video, or do you want an actual lesson, or do you want all of them? And then there's homework that you can click on and assessments. And this one too, you can add it to your Google Drive. And I liked this one because it was a little more teacher friendly and organized. You could just click on a grade level instead of having to go through what your topic was. It was a little bit more user friendly, I felt. And so I'll take you to the next one. And when it first pops up, it doesn't look like much. It says join for free, but you can either go to the little magnifying glass at the top where it says resource library, or you can kind of scroll down and you can see all the different apps that it uses. And then you can find resource library, or if you just wanted specifically videos or first grade. So it's kind of up to you to how you want to choose. It's a little bit different having to scroll down to the bottom than having it at the top. But you just pick like first grade or third grade, and you can search by videos or you can search by games.
How do you pick the grade?
Yeah,
At the
scroll
bottom
down
and
at
over
the
to the
bottom.
right.
And I liked that it popped up with a lot of familiar things that I was used to. If there's a making tin strategy, if it has a little red circle with a video camera, that's a video. But you can go under at the kind of in the middle after the big search bar, there's resource type. And then that's where you have all your videos, your games, your assessments, homework, audio, and other. And so you can search through there. Yeah, I liked that. And there was even, I saw a basic sight words flashcard. And I thought that would be neat to put in the Google Classroom. It's just a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And you have to say the words with them, so I thought you could even put a timer back there on the computer. And they have to say the words as fast as they can. Yeah.
Already engaging.
This blue screen on it.
What kind of like free, like on the screen, like classroom, the same thing kind of thing?
And you could even put it on the Promethean board, and like that could be a center during guided reading or guided math.
It's cool because it took me to a website even that has a ton of resources on the website.
I liked this website a lot. And again, up at the top it has your Google Classroom, and you just can upload it straight into your classroom.
Oh, I was gonna say, but the red thing means a video?
Yes.
There you go. Oh, maybe it's on. This one? No, it takes you back. Oh. I guess as long as that one takes you blank. It will.
So, like, you wouldn't wanna necessarily put a video on Google Classroom. I mean, you could. Do you want a number thing? Like, what does that little thing mean?
That's a game. The purple circle is a game.
So that would be something that would work on the Google Classroom, right?
Right.
Okay.
If you look up at the resource type, it shows you what the different icons mean. Like
At the top.
when you're searching right here.
What is it?
This.
Oh, okay. Little menu.
Yes, like they're all, and there are books on there too.
No, I didn't click on this, I was clicking the back button.
How come so much? No, this is, if you click it, then it shows you the back. Then you can click it.
Which one are?
Oh, either.
I think this one, in order to add it to the Google Classroom, you have to actually sign up, but it is a free sign up. And then
Oh,
you would just
okay.
click the Google Classroom and it would add it to your Google Classroom. When I was exploring with it, that's kind of what it,
What are the green, you told us what the green arrow was, but I forgot.
that
Oh,
one.
it tells me at the top.
One more. Yes. Yeah, if you look right here under your resources, it shows you what the little.
How do you go to the, did you find how to go to the next page, Laura?
Oh, like me from the bottom?
Like go to the
Went to
next
the
page?
bottom?
The next
It kind of stops there. It looks like there's a lot more, it says there's a lot more resources.
If it's feature homework, couldn't that go
Unless
in
they're
your
talking
Google
about the
Classroom?
whole site's resources.
Don't use it as homework.
That's when you put your homework for the class while you're in there.
It kind of showed at the bottom when I was scrolling down a little loading thing, so it might have been trying to read. Are y'all ready to go to the next one? Okay.
See how they're synonyms.
Yes, we'll go to the next one.
That's what I think about nearby.
I'm like,
No, we're talking.
it keeps the kids
Yes,
Engaged,
yeah, it
yeah,
does.
going.
If they get off task, you just, oh, we're going on.
Yeah.
I like that. So this next website, it's a little bit different. There wasn't anything that you could really load into your Google Classroom, but it had a list of like web links that you could go and add to like your favorites on your classroom computers, and so the kids could go to it and explore that way. It did have some teacher tools as far as if you're new to adding technology to your classroom or using technology, there were articles and testimonials and blogs on different things that you could do to add more technology to your classroom or why it's beneficial to use technology in your classroom. There is also a list of apps. This one did have a neat component as far as for like special education. It had apps for special ed and articles. And most of the activities were student games, or it would take you to a website where it showed the actual lesson and you would have to download it and do it yourself. So it's not quite as fancy as the other two web pages. And this one was K-12 Tech Tools. And it's divided into like how to get started, and then if you scroll down it shows open educational resources, and it's divided by subjects, and so you would click on the subject and then it would ask you like what grade, and it's chunked into kinder through 5th, 6th through 8th, and then 9th through 12th. And then the technology tools down at the bottom, that was more for teachers. But it did have some neat interactive whiteboard lessons, like for this Promethean board. And it would show you, it would give you a description of the website and then what it actually offers. If you go back to teacher tools, or let's see, technology tools.
Okay.
Oh, interactive.
Did you find it?
I found the mall safety sign. The importance of holding a grown-up's hands while at the mall.
Well, under the math one, it actually had a whole website with a list of movies that use math that you wouldn't think that had any math in it, like Jane Eyre. And it shows like what the math part was in the movie, and you can see the math clip from the movie. And it showed one where like the math was all wrong on the board. So it was random movies, like some that I hadn't even heard of and some that you would think like, really, that's math? Like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Like really? I did not see the math in that movie. But, and of course Good Will Hunting, because that's math.
That's
So,
the first thing
that was obvious, but yeah.
Was it correct, I wonder?
Yeah. Everybody stopped to figure it out.
Because no one
Can you
knows.
imagine?
Yeah.
I did.
Or you just go to that page and you click on the X,
Oh, that
and it'll
one.
get you back to
Maybe to like your.
See, I don't see all those devices.
and you're back to like where you're, yeah, where you're selected.
That's what I was kind of thinking was
There's
some
a
of
difference
us.
Difference too, because Smartboard
Because
and,
the Active Inspire wouldn't work on them.
and two, there's a difference between a
Smartboard
Smartboard
and
and
a
a Beacon board. Like you can't go on there and get Smartboard lessons. Because you don't
A Smartboard is what they have.
subscribe to.
Like
the
subscribe to
subscription.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So there really wasn't much to this website, but I did like that there were games. There were a couple of games that you could. I'm gonna go ahead and take you to the next lesson, or the next website. This one I actually created a account for, and it was free. It does have practice lessons and then actual lessons, and then I'll give an assessment. And you could do it, I think for first grade and for the primary grades it would be a little bit harder to put it in the Google Classroom and kind of self-pace it because there was a lot of reading to it. But if you put it up on the Promethean board, you could do it whole group and then they could do the lessons on their own. But when they're doing the assessments, when students are doing the assessments, it gives them feedback right away. Like if they got it wrong, it tells them that they're wrong. And in order to master a lesson, you have to actually get 10 questions correct. And so it will just say, you have to keep working on it. But it did have, I liked this one too because it had a spelling component to it for practicing like long vowels and double consonants. And you can also upload it to Nearpod or the Google Classroom. And you can create a library of lessons. So if you see something that you like, you can just put it in your library and come back to it later for teachers. And so when it first opens up, it's kind of like, looks like it's way too advanced for elementary, but if you scroll down, there's simulations, which I think are more for like homeschool kids or high school kids, and the Plix was pretty neat. You can click on it and it does math or science. And then you can change your branches to math or science. So it gets hard quickly though. Yeah. So the Plix isn't probably something that I would do in my classroom. And it shows you how to use it and with your students, and they get a chance to explore. And so you can, like if it was a fishing line,
Yeah, I think that's the one.
there's a challenge too. Yeah. I'm trying to get back to it. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's good.
If you scroll down to the bottom, that's where it has the different lessons, the spelling and the writing. You can kind of search around for what you're looking for. The spelling one is, I found, were quite a few things that I could use in my classroom there.
That's what I was looking for, oh, there it is.
I think they have all of them.
And so when you find a lesson, it kind of does the reading part, and so you would do that, I think, with your class, and then the assessment they would do on their own.
You know if this one can go in Google Classroom?
Yes, but you have to create an account for it.
Okay.
But you have to put it in the library once you're using it, and I can show you how to do it too,
Okay.
if it's something that you think you would really want to use. This part I would do, I mean, they could do it on their own, like if they're really good readers, but I think it was a little bit too wordy, even for upper grades. They'd have to really pay attention to what they were doing. So I would probably do it like whole group or put it on the screen. I mainly liked it for the ideas that it gave me, because sometimes I would run out of different ways to teach things, and I'm trying to come up with something on the fly, and this seemed like something that you could look at the night before and figure out what you were going to teach the next day. Thumbs up if you're ready to go on. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the different types of Creative Commons license. There's 4 different types, and attribution just means that it's by who was the creator, and you're just giving them credit for creating the lesson. And with attribution, people can use, so anyone, you can use their work as long as you give them credit for them and you don't sell it commercially. You can change it, you can modify it, you can copy it, you can share it, perform whatever it is, but you just need to give them credit and say that so-and-so created this lesson. Share alike, so if you see an SA on anything that you're using, that just means that that type of license, you're allowed to use it, share it, change it however you would like to. But you need to, you can even distribute it, but you need to give credit, of course. And you also need to let them know that you're sharing it under the same terms, that you're not changing it and trying to say it's yours. Okay. And then non-commercial means that you can use it however that you want, but you can't sell it for commercial purposes and make a profit off of it. And non-derivatives, that means that you can use it, you can copy it, you can share it with others, but you cannot change it. So if you wanted to add something to it, or you didn't like this video so you wanted to cut part of it out or whatever, edit it, you can't. And so on this website, there's a little bit more, it kind of goes into more detail and kind of explains what open educational resources are on the licensing end of it. But basically, they're free. You can use them however you choose to, as long as you're giving credit to that person that created it. And with attribution and copyright, users can retain it. They can reuse it however they want, as many times as they want. They can modify it or mash it up, which means you take the original and you maybe change something to it, and so it's combining the two, how you changed it and with the original work. And then you can share it as well. And to give attribution, you just need to make sure that whatever the title of the lesson is, that you're sharing that title, the author of the work, who it was created by, the source where you found it, and the licensing type, whether it was attribution, share alike, non-commercial, or non-derivative. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. How many different types of Creative Commons licenses are there? And it's on your paper.
I already looked.
Good job.
Like, where do you find the licensing on something?
It's usually at the bottom,
Okay,
at like the bottom of the website. That's usually where you find it.
I've never looked.
Yeah. And some of the lessons actually won't have it on there, but some will. And then, true or false, users do not have to give creditors attribution.
We're all waiting for Benji to go first.
I kind of like that you can see the answers on the screen and who's in there for like the students, so you know who's paying attention. Of course, then you also know who's cheating, because they can just wait for for someone else to answer first.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh.
And these are my references. Did y'all have any questions?
The ones that you signed up for, was it pretty easy to sign up and make your own account?
Yes, you just do your email and then a password, whatever
Okay.
password you want, so there isn't anything complicated to it.
Did you send us some of those things, the websites?
Yes, yes, I will.
And do we get to keep the Nearpod? Like, how does Nearpod work?
Yeah, that was
Is this stored to me somehow?
Yeah, I don't know. I can share it.
I don't know. I don't know Nearpod well enough yet.
Yeah, I think I can share it. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
Well, thank you again for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.